Hi, and welcome to In the Front Row, all things news, reviews, and interviews. My name is Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of episode 4 of Miss Marvel. I'm really liking this series so far. I like that the story is different to what I'm used to hearing or seeing even, and the locations are different to what I'm used to watching in my shows. I really like all of the actors now. And I just think that this show is not very dramatic. It's not really taken very seriously. And I like that, there's a lot of culture thrown in there. There's a lot of color. There's a lot of fun. And I just think it's really unique. And I'm really enjoying watching it. But in saying that, the pacing of this show is absolutely killing me. Like, it's actually really frustrating. And I hate the fact that the threat is not threatening at all. Like, I'm not afraid of them at all. And that's really confusing to me. And it sort of like pulls me back from really enjoying this show as much as I would like to. In saying that, the moments with Kamala and her family are really beautiful. And that's really what's like holding me together and holding me in this show, I guess. But I just hope that like all of it links in together, and eventually we get some answers and we get some action, and it all just makes sense, because I really, really hate shows that don't make sense. And I just hope that we get that in this one. So let's talk about those family moments that I'm really enjoying at the moment. I've loved from episode 1 Kamala's mum. I think she's sassy. I think she's smart. I think she's strong and like really leads and holds the family together. And I really like that in this episode we got to see a lot more of her and also her mum, Kamala's nanny. So I loved her. She was freaking adorable. But I loved that she was really supporting of Kamala's emotions and all the confusion that Kamala had with that, the bangle, and how she just defined it as like genetics, like she's just cool, calm, and collected about it all. And she even said,
even at my age, I'm still trying to figure out who I am.
Which is super relatable to Kamala. So I'm so glad that she has somebody that she can like talk to about her emotions and her genetics and her new powers, just somebody there to support her. But I'm also a little bit disappointed because I really wanted that person to be her mum. Like her mum, I know she didn't understand her in episode 1, but that's because she was talking about like wanting to be a superhero and things like that. But honestly, if she sat down and had a conversation with her mum, like, this is, a bracelet, this is what it can do, this is what I can see, and look at what I can do. Like, her mum will know that these theories that she was really angry with her own mother about are not theories. And I really thought that we were heading in that direction when they were sitting around the table and they had that nice moment, sharing the toffees, because obviously she's got a fractured relationship with her mum, her saying about the toffees and she kept them for her to come back, but obviously she never came back. And Kamala's mum was sort of trying to do the exact same thing, like not wanting to let Kamala do what she did, which was flee and run. So they were having that nice moment there, like sharing the toffees. And I thought, yes, tell her, like talk to her and bond. And it was a cute little bonding moment, but like no conversation, nothing. And I don't know. I just feel like, why are you leaving this mum out of things? Like, you left Nakia out of the conversations, with Bruno knowing your powers and she didn't know, and now you're doing the same thing with your mum. You're telling your nanny and you're not telling your mum. Like, why are you selecting all these people? Everyone will understand it. Everyone will support you. So I don't know what's going on. Obviously there's a bigger story involved and I'm jumping the gun. But I'm just a little disappointed with that part of things. In saying that, those moments were absolutely authentic and absolutely beautiful. So I did enjoy those scenes. I like that they went to Karachi to hear about the partition from the nanny's perspective. There was those paintings on the wall that she painted from what she remembered, and one of those paintings directly reflected what Kamala saw when she was like blasted into the other dimension and back in time. And what she was seeing is exactly what was painted. So that was a really nice touch there. And I also liked that she was talking about that last train out of there and how she got lost from her father, but there was like a trail of stars or a trail of light, I can't remember what they called it, that led her back to her father. And I'm just hoping that, Kamala's in this different dimension, and I'm hoping that that same sort of like trail of lights or trail of stars or whatever it was called, that is going to lead Kamala to Aisha. Something else that linked in with what the nanny was saying, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but when she was talking about how frustrated she was with her roots, and she kept bringing it back to a border.
There is a border.
And then when we learnt about the clandestines, or their ultimate goal really, we learned that there was like a border between the two worlds, or two dimensions, I guess you could call it. I think they call it a veil, but basically it was like a border and a divide, showing that the two dimensions can coexist and can function. But if the clandestines get their goal and they take over, obviously Kamala's dimension will be destroyed. So I feel like that was related somehow to what the Nani was saying to do with the border and things like that. I don't know, could be wrong there, but I thought that was really interesting. I also really enjoyed seeing Kamala explore Pakistan and explore her culture. This is something that I don't often see in TV shows, and they did it in a really fun way. Like, they take the piss out of Kamala wearing jeans in such a hot climate, and it was funny to watch her eat food that she probably has tasted before, but, you know, eating it in a different way to how they would eat it in Pakistan. And then when she asked, "Is it spicy?" That was really funny too. And I love that we were introduced to the red daggers in this episode, but this is where my frustration kind of lies. I said in last episode that I was a little bit disappointed with the wedding scenes that I felt went on a little bit too long. I know they should have been in there. I totally get that, but they went on a bit long for me, were a little bit dragged out. Whereas if you had have shortened those scenes and then we got in this episode more scenes or more time with Waleed and Kareem, the Red Daggers, learning about them, building a relationship with them, it would have felt so much more wholesome, I guess I think is the word. It just felt so rushed. Like, you know, they were there, they quickly met Kamala, here's your history, blah, 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 there's some action, you're gonna die. And it's like, did anyone care that he died? Like, I really liked him. I feel like Kamala really liked him, but she got no build up with him. There was no time for her to really, or for us to really care. And like, did he die? Because, you know, he got stabbed in the back, there was no blood, tumbles over the edge, and then he's just like lying there dead on the ground, and nobody seemed to care. Like, the emotion was just not there for me. And I was like, do these vests that he gave Kamala, do they have like some sort of healing powers that I don't know about? And maybe he's not really dead? Because even that scene with Kareem...
Oh no, it's too late. He's gone. We have to go.
There was no emotion there. And like, you've known this guy a lot longer than Kamala has. And it's just like, wouldn't you be more upset if he was dead? I don't know. That scene was just very confusing to me. And there was no blood. So I'm like, what is going on here? It's very confusing and very rushed. And the scenes with Kamala and Kareem, I felt were really rushed too. Like, it was like, hey, we're fighting and this is our introduction to, hey, here's your family past and your history and things like that, to, hey, let's go to a bonfire together. And at that bonfire, I don't know, could be just me because I was, you know, I feel love, but I felt like lovey eyes and like something like romantically was going to happen there. I don't know, could be wrong. And I just felt like that relationship, if there even is a relationship, I could be just making it all up in my head, who knows. But anyway, if there is a relationship there, I just feel like everything was really rushed with that, and I would have liked to have got to see that develop a little bit more. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I really was thinking like, who's Kamala going to pick here? You know, is she going to want smart and caring Bruno, or is she going to want tough guy and like now alone Cameron, or is she going to want this like sassy, athletic guy that knows her history and knows her past and knows her powers? And they've got quite a lot of banter going on, which is really cool. So yeah, I was kind of thinking like, ooh, who is she going to pick in this love triangle? But there might not even be a love triangle there. That might be all in my head and me just watching way too many romance movies. But yeah, that's just something that I was thinking during those scenes. And lastly, I mentioned that I didn't think that the threat was threatening. I just think like they get to Pakistan, and how the hell on earth did they get there so quickly? Let's be honest. Kamala took a flight, however long that flight took. Surely they would take however long that flight took plus some, you know, to get to Kamala, because not much time had passed during that. So that fight scene was just, yeah, really rushed. Like, hello. So I think she even said surprise, surprise, like we're here. How did that happen so quickly? But anyway, that first fight scene that they have, you know, 2 die already. 2 of them are gone. So it's like, I don't feel like they're capable of taking out humans, let alone taking Kamala's bracelets, who has superpowers at the moment, and then take over the earth or take over that dimension. It's like, I don't think that they have the capability to do that. Like, they're struggling with just fighting at the moment. And there were 2 things that I didn't really understand with this. Why did they leave Cameron? Like, that's her son, is it not? That was really confusing to me, like Mother of the Year award. And then also, when they even got arrested in general, why did we even have that scene? If they could break out that easily, Why did they get captured to begin with? Like, why didn't they just spend that time flying over to Pakistan? Or why didn't we get that time exploring Kamala's powers? Because based off this scene, she clearly needs to explore her powers a bit more because she cannot even throw a knife. So based off that scene alone, she needs more practice, and we could have spent time practicing in those scenes. But that's just my opinion anyway. So anyway, I really loved the family moments between all the ladies in this episode. And also I really loved the chase scenes where the clandestines were chasing Kamala and that through the streets of Pakistan. I thought those scenes were really fun, really colorful, and really got to show us what their city looks like. And I loved when Waleed was jumping from building to building and you got to see the really colorful homes. That was really nice to look at. So yeah, I really enjoyed all of this. I mean, I'm really enjoying most of it, if I'm being honest. I do really like this series, but there's just some little things where I go like, oh, that could have been done better, or that's confusing, but who am I to say what can be done better? These are just my opinions, but I just really hope that in the next 2 episodes, everything like binds together and starts to make sense, because I hate when shows are left unfinished or left with like lots of questions that are not answered. I really don't like that. So I'm hoping that this doesn't do it. Anyway, they're just my thoughts, as I said. I hope you liked this video. If you did, can you please give it a like? And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and then head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow over there as well, please. Okay, sweet as. Have a good day. Bye.